And welcome to Suite 301. We are live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're here to give you the latest news and updates about CollClubSports. You can watch all of our broadcasts on our Suite 301 page and on our Facebook pages and on YouTube.
Remember to like our Facebook pages and follow our Twitter accounts for the latest news and content. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel for videos from around our leagues and to watch previous episodes of Suite 301.
We're going to be your hosts for this epic journey. I'm Christian Smith alongside Sandy Sanderson. Stick with us, and we will be taking you through all the different CollClubSports leagues. First, we're going to start with the National Club Baseball Association. A lot going on, a lot of big things happening in the next couple months. Go ahead. The biggest thing is the Rules Committee meeting.
Absolutely, yeah. We got that coming up here in July, the 27th, I believe.
Yes.
And we're gonna have it's a meeting of the minds, right?
It's a great meeting, and it's designed for the teams to really shape the rules of the league.
Absolutely, and to give people a backstory on how this meeting and this committee developed. When we first started the league 19 years ago, we would have a brick and mortar meeting. And I remember your first day at work was one of them 12 years ago. And we'd invite all the teams to Pittsburgh. We'd get together. We'd eat some pizza. We'd talk about rule changes. But what really happened there was, that was back when the league was like 50 teams. The league's now over 300. And what we got to the point where, we'd have 10, 15 teams in there, which was only a very small sliver of the representation of the whole body. So what we decided to do was, we're never going to get a really reputable number of teams in that meeting room to debate these potential changes. We decided to shrink it down. And our rule changes were less drastic by then. We'd kind of gotten into a comfort zone of what we wanted this league to be, what the teams wanted it to be. And so we developed, we thought it'd be better to have a smaller panel who would all be present for the debate. And the meeting goes on quite a bit. There's a lot of debate, sometimes gets heated. But we give the teams the opportunity to propose changes, give their ammunition to their representatives that they voted for and elected to represent them in this meeting. And we talk about everything.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's a smaller group, but we're getting the feedback from outside, but we're able to hear the pros and cons to everything and make these kinds of decisions.
Yeah, and every team in our league has a voice. I mean, and there's a representative, and we'll get those up on the screen here. If you're a Division I team, you're reaching out to Joe Caracciu. Joe has been around for a very, very long time, former head coach at East Carolina University. He's volunteered with us. So if you're a Division I team and you're looking to make some rules or put in a change for the rule book, you would reach out to Joe at his email listed there. If you're likewise a D2 team, Chad Lowe is your elected representative, and you can reach out to him at low.92@osu.edu. And again, both Chad and Joe have been around for a very, very long time, know the NCBA inside and out. So they bring a lot to that meeting. And then finally, if you're a Division III team, you can actually reach out to me, christian.smith@CollClubSports.com. Just send us your suggestions, any rule deletions, adoptions, changes, and we will certainly bring those up at the meeting for discussion.
Yeah, and everything that gets proposed gets talked about. It might only be 5 seconds. It might get 45 minutes of floor time. Everything gets discussed. Sometimes we walk in and an item gets put on the table for discussion, and all 7 people in the room say no.
Yeah.
And then we move on. Everything gets discussed. And this list, you're putting together this list of discussion points, and the guys are going to be bringing more discussion points to the table. It's been a 12-month list. The rule changes after a week after last year's meeting. Someone said, "Oh, you should have talked about this." Well, it's now on the agenda for the next meeting. So
yes, July 27th.
July 27th.
And I believe Chad and Joe will be reaching out to all the teams, just letting you guys know to email them if you have anything that you want brought up at the meeting. So, again, make sure your voices are heard and reach out to your representatives so that we can discuss the rule book for the upcoming 1920 season.
Do you got any teasers for us, like a one item that you know is going to be on the discussion board?
I have a folder in my email that I know's, I don't want to say fools, but, from 12 months ago, been collecting suggestions and kind of putting them in there. And if I notice something in the rule book I think might need tweaked, I'll send myself an email to put in there. But as of right now, I haven't even talked to Joe or Chad to gather what they've gotten so far. But it's a fun meeting, long meeting, but a very useful and
to give the viewers a little example of something I know that happens to be a discussion item is the NCAA is changing their bat rules again. Basically, specifically, they're no longer allowing white-barreled bats to be legal. And as many people know, we've got a sponsorship with Marucci. They're big in the white barrel bats. They're going to be changing and adapting their bat line moving forward to accommodate the new NCAA rules. But what are we going to do? Because we just shipped all our teams 2 Marucci bats that are white. So those bats by NCAA rules become illegal next year. We're going to have a discussion about how we're going to handle that rule change by the NCAA as well. So just a little example of stuff that'll be talked about.
So, again, big meeting, and reach out to your representatives if you want to have your voice heard. Next thing we want to get into is the new teams of the NCBA. Quite a few came on board. So we will be going over those with we have Garrett with us.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Garrett Seamack, welcome to the show.
Glad to be on, guys.
The new Director of Division II Baseball
Yes,
Operations.
he is.
And still the Director of Baseball Development. So the man handles all new team recruiting as well. Now he's going to add the running of Division II on his plate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So what do we got in the new team front?
So we've already gone over 6 of the new teams. Southern New Hampshire, Mary Baldwin, Stony Brook, Dickinson, UMass Lowell, and Auburn are kind of teams we've gone over in the past. Since then, we've added University of Michigan, Flint, University of Tampa, and Central Washington to the mix as well to bring us to a total of 10 teams for this upcoming year with a bunch more still on the horizon. So we're excited for it. Not really sure where everyone's going to plan out yet, as we have realignment still, but the teams know what's going on. They know where they may end up, and we're looking forward to the season.
Are most of these teams going to be coming into Division III?
8 of the 10 teams will be. So the only 2 that will not will be Tampa, who's going Division II, and then Central Washington is kind of a to be determined whether we put them Division I or Division II no pack if that happens.
Now, to elaborate on it, Tampa is going to go straight to Division II because there is no Division III in Florida, right?
Correct.
And the same thing with Central Washington out in the Northern Pacific. At this moment, there isn't Division II out there, though it's one of our goals to get Division II started out in that northwest portion of the country.
Yeah, so all of our new teams automatically put them in Division III, except if we don't have Division III, the next tier is Division II, and then kind of keeps following suit. But
and you earn your stripes there, prove you can operate, and then you can graduate up the ladder further.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And a great segue, and we are talking realignment right now. We just had a meeting actually this morning, but I know a lot of teams this time of year are, what's who's in our conference, who are we playing, and every year we're, a few teams might not renew with the league, but we're obviously gaining more than we're losing. So realignment needs to take place, and we're going through those meetings as we speak. So stay tuned, all the teams out there. Make sure you're staying with social media and the website because we will have final realignments here in the next month or so, having that all finalized. And with fall baseball coming up, it's crazy to think that fall baseball is around the corner not too shortly. So we'll have to have the realignments all finished, finalized. So, again, stay tuned for that. Other news in the NCBA, we have some fall tournaments coming up. Garrett, for instance, is running the Greenville Fall Invitational again with Tracy Reardon in our office. And that registration is being released on Friday?
Yeah, so I just finished did the finishing touches on it this morning, so the registration's good to go. I'll release it on Friday sometime during the day. We'll post it on Facebook, send out to all of the teams in that area. So if you're interested, email it back to either Tracy or myself, and it'll be the first 12 teams get in.
And we've been there for many years now. 7 years?
This will be 8.
8?
Yep.
Yeah. So we have a good footprint down in Greenville. It's an awesome city, and I know a lot of teams that go once usually come back. So make sure to look out for that registration coming out on the 19th, which is this Friday. First come, first serve. First 12 to get in are the 12 teams. Last thing we want to get into before we close out the books on the NCBA, the annual league meeting. That is coming up on August 14th at 7 p.m. And kind of it's similar in a way. Whenever you were describing the rules meeting, my first day was the annual league meeting, which was, the rules meeting and the annual league meeting were kind of tied together. But what's great about the annual league meeting is like you said, when we had it live in Pittsburgh, we had 12, 15 teams show up, which isn't a large percentage of our entire body of teams. What's great in how we do it now is it's live on Facebook Live. If you're watching us right now, you're going to be able to tune into the league meeting. We could get 100% participation. We know that's obviously not going to be realistic, but anybody that has an internet connection can tune into the league meeting. We go over so much important information. Some of the stuff we go over are the rule changes for the upcoming year. But yeah, it's a great meeting that has tons of information. It's information that if you've tuned into a league meeting in the past, a lot of it's repetitive, but it's good to get a refresher on those types of things because there's quite a bit to remember. But especially for new teams or new officers running a club baseball team, certainly essential to watch that league meeting
and interact in it. I mean,
yes.
There's nothing wrong with asking a question. I mean, you're not the only person. You ask the question you want. You've probably put 5 other people at peace of mind because they wanted to ask the same question. So it's a great opportunity, and that's what we want from you is to ask these questions. Hey, how do I fill out my schedule request form? What if I can't get it in on time? Why did I get moved to Division II? Things like that. Ask the question so we can get you live answers right then and there. So
yeah, and it's really easy. Just to touch more on that, you just write your question into the comment section underneath the video, and we will read the question aloud, and hopefully the presenter will have an answer for you. And if we don't have an answer for you at that very second, we will get one to you. So again, make sure to look out for information. There will be an invitation coming out probably in the coming weeks for that meeting with all the information that you'll need to know to tune into that. So lots of important things happening in the NCBA, even though it's technically the off season. Lots of things happening. So make sure that you're checking your emails and the website and social media. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that puts a wrap on club baseball discussion here for this Sweet 301. We're going to move on to some NCSA softball updates, right?
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. Well, the big thing right now, Savannah's in the recruiting process, and she's just recently signed her 8th new team for this year. If you tuned into last year's show or last month's show, New England, Flint, Providence, New Haven, Washington, St. Louis, Greensboro, and Georgetown had already come on, but the new one, Quinnipiac University, is our newest NCSA team right now. And when I was talking to Savannah preparing for this show, she said there's another one that's like maybe minutes away from being new. So, but Quinnipiac, glad to have them on. Little story about Quinnipiac. They're a New England school, and they've never really had club sports before. I've been involved with the club basketball side, and they've on the club basketball side they've had this team, but it's not been school affiliated. They've gone and played like men's leagues around. Bunch of kids from Quinnipiac, but the school never had a club sports program, so they could never join in any of our leagues. The school has now changed that process. They've developed this club sports program there, and the softball is the first to join on board. So hopefully we'll be following suit with women's basketball, men's basketball from Quinnipiac here soon. And baseball as well. So we're glad to have them on, and I think Garrett's even talking to them about baseball. So it's nice to see that the administration has kind of changed their old school thinking there and realize, hey, these kids want to play the game. Let's let them do it under our umbrella. So,
absolutely.
So welcome to the NCSA. You can enjoy the ride. Other items on the softball side that Savannah asked me to speak about. Surveys. There was no rule changes proposed at this year's league meeting. However, a survey did go out to the teams asking them, just some ideas about new changes that we might want to incorporate in the future. She's asked me to remind people, please fill out the survey. It'll take you 3 minutes and definitely give us good feedback on how we want to make some moves and moving forward. Schedule request forms will be out this week. So they're coming out, and she was excited because yesterday marked the 2-month timeline. 2 months from yesterday, the season starts. So she's on the countdown. Schedule request forms are looking for those coming out this week. And her and I have a realignment meeting on Friday, because she's got 8 teams right now. I think she said literally by the end of the day that it's going to be up to 9. and we got to get those teams placed. We got some conferences that have gone from 7 to 9 teams, which 9's too many, so we're going to have a realignment meeting, and hopefully that'll get ironed out by the end of or this week on Friday. Then teams could be seeing that announced on Monday.
Good stuff. If nothing else, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will be talking NCBBA basketball.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor of CollClubSports. They offer an early order discount to all of our leagues on top of their already low prices. Go to thegameheadwear.com and check out their wide selection of on-the-field hats, off-the-field boonies, beanies, and visors. Contact Felicia Battaglia at CollClubSports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Rawlings is proud to be partnered with CollClubSports. If your team is in need of any products that Rawlings has to offer, contact us today. Rawlings, the finest in the field.
And welcome back. We are here with Zach Ramirez. We're going to be talking NCBBA basketball. Lots going on. It's a common theme here, right, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit happening. But biggest thing is we got a lot of new teams coming on board.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, new team tracker, just to bring you some updates, starting with up in the North Atlantic region, the State University of New York at Cortland is going to be joining up there, as well as in the Mid-Atlantic, we have Christopher Newport University, nice addition. In the South Atlantic, we have Georgia Highlands College and Beacon College, both coming on. And then in the Mid-America region, 3 teams that we've already established, University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, Washington University in St. Louis, and St. Louis University, as well as IUPUI, Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis coming on.
That's a
Just
mouthful.
sounded like
on
you
today.
just said
Yeah.
a lot of.
Yeah, I was just rattling off there.
Yeah, sounded like
So
you-
IUPUI is this school.
Yeah.
Indiana
So-
University, Purdue University of Indianapolis.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, and new team to the organization. Good to have them back or have them in. I'm real excited about the Mid America growth, especially that Mid America South with a small conference last year of only 4 teams. Picking up Wash St. Louis and St. Louis U is a nice addition. Really fills that conference out well. Now I know we've got you're working some recruiting ends. I'm working some recruiting ends on the men's side. We got some more verbal commitments that we'll hopefully be announcing yet. I just found out about the IUPUI in a meeting 40 minutes ago. So excited to have them on board. Did they even get up on the website yet?
No, not yet.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
still
So
in
you're
progress.
hearing it here first. So well, good to have them on board. One of the other big things that's going on right now I'd like to touch base with you on is this fall tournament. What are we calling it?
Yeah, so it's the fall tip-off,
Okay.
the first annual fall tip-off tournament in State College, PA. So, we have the C3 Sports Complex over in State College. Right now, already 12 teams signed up since registration went live on July 1st. 16-team tournament.
So we only got 4 spots left.
4 spots, yeah.
In 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, if you want in to the first ever one of these, you better hurry up and get your paperwork in because that's going to fill up real fast. And I'm excited about this because this is something we're doing for the first time this year. Of course, we always have our regional playoffs at the end of the year, the national championship. But, something that we often talk about on the baseball side and softball side that we've been doing for years is these fall invitationals. Something like the season just gets started. Let's get out there. Get a bunch of teams together. Kind of, it counts, but it's not conference play. And we're able to do this with NCBBA rules. We're playing stop clock. We got high school officials and everything. We're going to get 16 teams. Predominantly State College, PA. So we're looking at all of New England, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland, that group. Getting those teams together, and it's filling up quickly. And I think one of our goals here is let's get this established so it becomes routine. And then we'll open one up in the Southeast or one out in the Midwest or the Southern Pacific. And so we can have these traditional preseason tournaments going on all over the country. Very much like the NCAA does, right? They got the one Hawaii that they do.
Yeah, the
and things like
invitationals.
that. Right.
All over.
So that's what we're working on here, and I know you've been working hard on it. It's great to hear it's starting to come together. The dates of that are when?
November 1st through 3rd.
All right. And so if a team is out there watching wants to sign up, what's the best way to get the information?
Email me, contact me, Zach.Ramirez@CollClubSports.com.
And if you go to the website, there is some advertisement about the tournament on the NCBBA basketball.org website.
Yep.
Right. So good stuff. And then I guess the last piece of housekeeping for on the men's basketball side is the August 1st schedule request forms are coming out, right?
Correct, yeah. So we'll send those out. Always fill them out, to the best of your ability. Now might be a good time to reach out to an advisor to see what your availability might be court-wise. But just something on the docket, August 1st, those will be going out.
Right, so they'll come out August 1st. They'll be due September 1st, correctly?
Correct, yes.
All right. And one of the things that I like to remind teams is that when you're filling this out, look at the academic calendar. And one of the big, think about finals. The weekend before finals. Do you have the ability to play at all? Can you play at home? Do you really need to be off? Some teams say, we can't travel. That's fine. Can you play at home? The biggest thing, though, spring break. Remember, it's a week long, but it sort of encompasses 2 weekends. So you may need to request off both those weekends. Because if you say, hey, we can play this weekend, and then a week before comes around, and you're like, oh, wait, that's the weekend we leave for spring break. Those games have been scheduled already. So definitely take that into account when filling out your schedule request form. So
Very
all
important.
Right. Yes. So, all right. Well, I think that's on the men's side for this show.
Absolutely. I would agree with you.
Well, what should we do next?
Let's go to NCBBA Women's.
And there he is, Alec Verhoff.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thanks, Christian.
Hey, have you has World Alec Verhoff World Bubby, as we fondly call him? Have you been introduced to the world since your promotion to director of basketball development?
I have not.
Okay, well, there you go. We just covered that. So he's been working very closely with me on the women's basketball recruiting side. Basically, it turns out there were so many more teams out there that I couldn't handle it all myself. And Bubby came running to me and said, I want in, Sandy. I see how this thing's growing. I want to get involved. So, talk to us about the new teams that we've got going on out there.
Yeah, so last month's episode, we had 13 teams. We've added 8 teams since then, so we're up to 21. Some of those.
You're right. I just checked your math.
Thank you for
quick.
checking my math. I appreciate that. So some of the new teams that we've added, we added Holy Cross, Providence College, Vermont. Those all went into the New England region. We also added Rutgers, Montclair State, Johns Hopkins, and St. Joseph, and those went into the Mid-Atlantic region. And basically right now, 20 of the 21 teams are made up from the New England, Mid-Atlantic, and North Atlantic region. And I was really excited last week to have our first team outside of those three sign on in Grand Valley State, who is in the Great Lakes region. I think with them signing on, it's going to be they're the first domino to fall, and it's just going to be a snowball effect from there.
Yeah, we've got, I've set the goal of being 35 teams. That's what we want for the first year. That would be phenomenal if we have 35 teams in this league. And I'm excited at the growth we've had. Basically everyone I've spoken to on the phone this is awesome. Not everybody's in, because some teams are like, hey, we're brand new. We've never played a game before. We're a little hesitant. We're a little scared. But it sounds awesome. The teams that have been established, every one of them that I've talked to on the phone is like, this is what we've been missing. This is what we want. This is going to be competitive. They're excited about it. So I like how we've gotten 5 teams here, 6 there. They're all pocketed up. The Mid-Atlantic is going to have to get split. I think it's up to 9 already.
Yep.
And that was just through recruiting basically north of Virginia and east of Ohio, up through New England. Now since we've been able to bring you on board to help out, we've been able to expand that footprint down. We're now reaching into North Carolina with our recruiting, out into Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and so forth, being able to expand that footprint that we're working on. And, there's a lot of teams out there. We should tip our hat a little bit to our intern here, Mark Budzik, who's doing a lot of behind-the-scenes research for us on finding contact information, who's got teams, who doesn't. I think that 35-team goal is absolutely going to get hit. I don't know, maybe I'm a dreamer, but I think there's a chance we could crush it.
Definitely. I've had a lot of positive conversations with other teams from, all those other areas you were talking about as well. So I think, once we just get the first team to sign on in those areas, it's just going to take off from there.
Right. I mean, everybody wants. I want there to be a 5-team conference in my backyard. Well, we can't get to Team 5 without 4, 3, 2, and 1. So that we offer some incentives to be the first one to come on board, come on quickly. You know, we've got that August 1st deadline because that's when we're going to start getting into more of the nuts and bolts of scheduling, rules development for the women's league. But you know, the sooner teams get on board, that's the sooner we can go get team number 2 and team number 3 and team number 4 right in their neighborhood. So, and I will tell you this, Christian, I'll promise you this. If we get to 35 teams this first year, I am going to have a confetti stick on this show.
I'll hold
Looking
you to
forward to it.
All right. So we're talking about that. The league meeting. Talk to us about the league meeting.
Yeah, very exciting. The first ever annual league meeting for the NCBBAW. That's going to be on August 7th at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be brought to us by on Facebook Live, just like we are here now, same as the baseball league meeting. So that's exciting, and that is the team's chance to be heard. Every team signed on in our league will have the opportunity to voice their opinions, concerns, rule change proposals. We'll start with the men's rule book, and then we'll go from there, and we'll get that out to the teams probably a couple weeks beforehand, and that's their chance to tell us what they want, what they think.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things we take a lot of pride in all our organizations is that our teams have so much say in the playing rules that we're operating by. So, we're not going to reinvent the wheel here. We're going to take the men's rule book. We're going to send it out to the teams a week or two in advance and say, hey, take a look at this. Highlight what you think you'd like to do differently and bring it to the table at that meeting, and we'll talk about it and vote on it, and we'll create the women's rule book. No reason the women have to play by the same rules as the men. So we'll get that worked out there on the 7th. And even more than that, there'll be a lot of information brought to light for these teams because, they're all brand new. They've never filled out a schedule request form. They've never completed an academic eligibility letter. They've never entered stats into the website. We're going to do, walk them through a lot of those processes of how this league runs and, how all our league runs because they all run so similar, for operationally.
Right.
So, all right, good stuff. Well, I think anything else on the women's side we need to talk about?
No, that's it for now.
Hey, if you're a women's basketball team and you're out there and you're looking to get in, or maybe you know a team in your area that you want to see join your conference, be sure to reach out to us. Let us know. We'd love to get on the recruiting trail of that team as well. So, all right, good stuff.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, so after women's basketball, I think we're on to the gridiron, right?
Club football.
Hey,
Let's
NFL
talk about
teams
it.
go to training camp here soon, right?
They do.
So our
I
club
think.
football must be right around the corner too.
Probably.
All right.
What do you got in club football?
Fall kickoff is going to be the first thing on the table to talk about here. Co-hosted between University of Pittsburgh and Scott Hoffman, our Mid-Atlantic Regional Director. I'll bet you this is the 6th annual fall kickoff event where it was designed to be kind of like those fall basketball tournament that Zach's hosting in State College, Greenville Invitational you're talking about in baseball. We wanted to develop something kind of centrally located to start the football season off where teams from different areas could get together and play teams that they would never really square off against. And that's how the fall kickoff got started. So, again, it's about the 6th year that it's been going on. October 5th is the date. It's hosted at the University of Pittsburgh. Very good central location for a lot of teams from the Mid-Atlantic, North Atlantic, Great Lakes, South Atlantic. And it's an indoor event, so it's weatherproof. University of Pittsburgh Sports Dome. University of Pittsburgh built their own indoor dome for their club sports programs, and they allow us to use it for this event. So October 5th, 11 a.m., we've got Pitt playing Michigan State. And at 2 p.m., we've got Oakland versus George Mason. So should be great. And should be a great event. And looking forward to seeing how that goes. Scott Hoffman will be in town. He loves being on the sidelines, talking to the teams. He usually puts together awards for MVP of the game. I know he was. He's a lineman at heart, so he was all excited the one year that he was able to give the entire offensive line the MVP trophy from the game. So it's fun, and of course you'll see Joe there. Joe will be roaming around, kissing babies, shaking hands, and
Shaking babies, kissing hands.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe along those lines. Well, good.
And let's see. The last little piece of football information to bring to you. Footballs have been ordered. If you're a team out there, we've gotten your order form. The NCFA league balls have been, they're out in Ada, Ohio, getting manufactured as we speak. You should look for those to arrive at your doorstep in mid to late August. So that's all I got on the football side. But we're going to turn to some marketing information.
Yes,
right?
lots of important marketing things happening right now, especially with Rawlings and the game. Right now, both those sponsors are in a discount period. For Rawlings, we're talking 45%. Normally, it's only 35%, but if you order your uniforms right now, you're getting 45% off, which, if you're ordering a large set of uniforms, that 10% is going to save you a ton of money. So if you're looking at Rawlings uniforms, performance apparel, equipment, make sure to reach out to Trent Vallinger, Trent.Vallinger at CollClubSports.com to get your order placed. I always also say, teams, the least you can do is at least get a quote from Trent. You might have a mom and pop shop you do business with, or maybe another manufacturer altogether. At least get a quote. Send Trent an email. He can get you a quote. Maybe it's a lot better than you would think it would be. So make sure to order those uniforms, protective equipment, performance apparel. Now, 45% discount. As far as the game goes, right now we're in a $2 off per hat discount, which, again, if you're ordering quite a few hats, that $2 per hat discount is a big deal. Save you a lot of money. If you're looking to order those hats, Felicia Battaglia, you can reach her at felicia.battaglia at CollClubSports.com. As for Phenom Elite, you get a 15% discount off the NCBBA uniforms. We've seen a lot of teams at the national championship wearing them. They look great. Really, really sharp. So,
I think there's a correlation between that. I find that very interesting, how many of the teams that order from our sponsor end up at the national championship.
Yeah, it was quite a few. I mean, I don't
and they
know.
look great, didn't they? The
yeah.
last 2 years.
We'll go with it. I mean, you order uniforms, you're probably going to go to a national championship. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah, 15% off discount for NCBBA teams. If you're interested in placing an order with Phenom Elite, contact Nathan Dorton at nathandorton@phenomelite.com. And for football on the Phenom Elite side, you can get a 20% discount off the custom gloves, which I've seen some samples, and they're the ones, that do all that type of wizardry. Yeah, we should, with our faces on them. I don't know. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, they look cool. If you look good, you play good. You play good, If
you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, so Nathan Dorton, Phenom Elite, Nathan Dorton at phenomelite.com if you're looking for gloves or uniforms. So reach out to Nate, and he will get your order started. But I believe that's all I have on the marketing side of things. So that's our show.
That's going to wrap us up for this month. Thanks for tuning in to this month's episode of Suite 301. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter.
Those two. And our next episode will be on August 20th at 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Facebook Live. Join us to catch up on everything that's happening around Call Club Sports.
And remember, it's a game.
Have fun.
Have fun.